Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Top Bins with Twins. We are doing this podcast right after Arsenal just dropped 2 points to Wolves, and yet there goes Paul. Save some
Guys,
of
give me 1 second.
You might not want to drink all of that because you're gonna want to be drinking as we talk about this, Paul. But as you can tell,
Everything's going great.
this is the life of an Arsenal fan currently because Arsenal just dropped points to Wolves. It was in their double game week where they played Brentford and Wolves both away, and they come out of those two matches with 2 points.
2 fucking points.
So Paul's feeling a little unhinged right now, so I'll be doing the best to keep us all very moderate.
He's going to have to try really hard.
Not too out of pocket today, but it's a very interesting time right now in FPL. And we'll definitely do a segment about Arsenal. We'll talk through that. We'll probably start out with that initially because that's going to be front of mind. But to give you all an idea of what we'll be talking about this week on the podcast, Top Ends with Twins, we are going to be talking about really focusing on the premiums that we think should be in our teams, like those players that are most important for us to be getting right now, right? Who we have to have, and I think there's an interesting angle to look at here, because there are some rising to the fore where maybe they're coming to mind, and we're starting to really think that they might. If we want to get them early before they become essential, right, as one of the favorite FPL terminology out there is, we've got to beat other people to the punch, right, before the ownership really skyrockets. So that's why we decided to talk about this week, and that's going to be the main focus of this podcast. But before we get there, I'm just going to hand it over to Paul, let him ISO a little bit. Let's talk about Arsenal. And, keeping in mind, though, we want to focus on the FPL implications, but we'll start out with just very general Arsenal talk. So go ahead.
I mean, I don't think there's the words to describe how disappointed I am. No, if you even look at just this double game week, Brentford away, you had a lead, you lost it. Not fucking surprising. And then you go to Wolves, you're up 2-0. You give up 2 goals in the second half to a fucking horrible Wolves team who are better than Arsenal.
Who have been better.
They've been better.
They've been better. Wolves are in last, but if they would have played like they have the last 5 to 8 game weeks, the entire season, they might not be getting relegated.
Well, I mean, you're just looking at a team that's under a better manager. They have a better system. It's accenting the talents that the squad has, as limited as it is. They're Rob Edwards. Sorry, that was a little bit of the beer.
It was just fitting that we started the pod with Paul somewhat chugging a beer, and then that. I'll keep going. Sorry,
but Rob Edwards, him stepping into this role where he's made Wolves a lot better team. I mean, honestly, I'm really disappointed for Arsenal because the title should be over at this point. It should, but
ideally, yeah,
it should. There's no question with the amount of points that Arsenal's dropped in situations where they shouldn't have. Like it's just not good enough, and I'll admit that as an Arsenal fan, and we're in for a dogfight for the title now, and maybe we aren't. Maybe City will fucking walk away with it. Who knows? But
Paul and I were just talking about this, right? Because I watched the tail end of that match, watched some of the beginning, and I was just not overly inspired by Arsenal, right? They don't feel inspired. There's not that spark there, especially attacking wise, where you feel like, oh well, it's just inevitable they're going to score a goal. It doesn't feel like that. But hey, wait. Let me finish the thought. But what I do think might happen though, throughout the course of the remainder of the season, I think that Arsenal will find that spark, right? Attacking wise,
I think
I'm not exactly sure. A little bit, but I could see very easily City go level, maybe even at one point higher in the table than Arsenal. I do think Arsenal will find that spark and potentially still win the title because it's so much ground for City to make up. And even though it's now, 5 points going into the weekend?
It's 5.
That's my concern. We need to be mindful that Arsenal have now played 28 games.
Yeah, they have one game.
And everyone else minus Wolves have played 27, right? So that 5 points, there is a bit of a asterisk on that 5 point lead, right? It all just depends on when City play their blank game week that happens in game week 31. So we'll keep an eye on that. And City will also have another double. But the point I'm trying to make here is I think that Arsenal could maybe continue to slip a little bit, and then at the very end they might pull it out.
Well, so what to kind of twisted some FPL thoughts for you, Luke? That I mean, we see Saka today. He scored a goal. He looked really good in that 10 position. Like I think he looked well. Obviously, I wasn't able to watch all the match, but if Saka is scoring goals for Arsenal, this team is completely different. I will die on this hill, and I've put everything behind this. That like if Arsenal had a regular season from Saka this season, the title's a runaway.
I think you're right.
It's simply a runaway because I mean this is easily a subpar season for Saka, especially
right.
He's been out,
but
he hasn't performed.
There are reasons why he's had a subpar season. I think Arteta's changed how Arsenal have played. He wants to make it more of a balanced attack. So like not everything's coming down the right side, right? You agree on that?
And I think it really boils down to I agree with you. I think it boils down to who's playing right back,
right? And Timber's
with Ben
playing
White there. There's more goals on the field for everybody,
right?
But Arsenal aren't as good as a defensive team with Ben White compared to Timber.
I mean,
Timber hasn't been as good over the past month, and I think it's just kind of like
here's the thing.
season wearing on him. But
my question here: compare the XGA or XGC, or expected goals conceded, over the course of when Ben White was starting right back and whenever Timber's been starting right back. I think that's a good telling figure, right, of how the system is operating as a whole. My concern, though, my other thing, right, I think Saka's been injured, right? Like going back to Saka, why we're maybe not seeing the Saka that we expected to see this season. He has been injured, so he's been kind of in and out of the starting 11. It's hard to build that consistency, but he's also being asked to play as a 10 now, which is something that doesn't feel like it would be that natural for him. But I see a lot of people being really excited about it, but he's a right winger, right?
He is, but like he also has those like he's one of those players where I mean I think you could play him right, you could play him left. He just has a really good feel for the game. And you saw it in a couple moments today where I mean he picks up the ball in the middle of the pitch and like he has an understanding of like, oh well, there's somebody behind me, there's somebody in front of me, and just plays it on to the left. The attack moves on. Like I do think it's something that works well. The problem I had mostly today is like, why are we starting Martinelli? like why? Like start Trossard, start somebody else, start SA on the left.
Try something different. As we have seen, Arteta does prefer Trossard on the left. And I think it's probably a fitness related issue, right? I mean, Trossard just doesn't have the capability to go 60 or 70 minutes starting.
But it doesn't have it. It's just so crazy because Martinelli's had probably one of the weirdest seasons ever that a player has ever had in an Arsenal shirt. Like if you look at him, I mean, he scored the goal in the 93rd minute to tie up the game against City at home. Mm-hmm. He scored some. What is he? He had the longest running streak of Champions League goals in consecutive games,
right?
All that stuff, and then you have the moment against Brentford last weekend where he takes a touch, doesn't fucking score. Like it's all context, you know, and like, but I just don't think he's the kind of player that you start against Wolves.
You know, yeah, you're right, because Wolves are going to sit deep. He struggles against the lower block. He doesn't really create spaces. He's great at running into spaces. My thought I just had as you're kind of talking about Martinelli and you know some of the success he's had in Champions League. If you look at Anthony Gordon, who has absolutely torn it up in Champions League this season, I think he probably has almost 10 goals, something like that. He scored 4 today, which is ridiculous. He scored 4 in one match in the first half. I think Martinelli and Gordon are soul sisters, right? Like there's a pairing there between them that for some reason they're pace merchants that live purely to bait FPL managers. Because
Martinelli doesn't bait me though.
Yeah, but it's the same principle, right? Like you see them having success in different playing styles, different leagues, different competitions. And then you look at the Premier League, which is such a physical league. It's officiated to allow physicality.
Yeah.
These types of players are not going to thrive in the league, right? So I don't know if we'll ever see that change, but
look, let's hit some FPL stuff just really quickly, okay?
Yeah,
I know this is a conversation basically catered around premiums on this podcast today, so I think Saka is going to be back in the picture very soon. I think that you could be an early mover and move to him right now. It wouldn't surprise me because I think that you're either going to see this Arsenal team just go out with a whimper, or I think Saka is probably going to figure out in the next 24 hours that, like, if Arsenal want to win the title, he's the one that has to make it happen. Like, he legitimately, there's 11 players that are on the pitch all the time, but Arsenal have to score goals to win the title at this point, right? Like, they can't, like, okay, you're telling me you can't keep a 2-0 lead? Okay, they have to score more goals. But he's also not in the put in the positions to be successful, but I think you're going to see him just fly out of the gate from here on out.
right. And I get that statement there. I think that is you're basing that upon this previous match and also kind of like a vibes check, right? Someone's going to have to step forward and take the reins and say, okay, I'm going to push us forward to a title. I don't know if I'm in the same boat as you on that take, though, because up to this point in the season, we've seen a Saka that has not necessarily inspired me. He's not someone that I've seen that we know he has it in him, but I just haven't seen that. It's like we've talked about in the pod before. That what I'm trying to say is, I think it's almost like he's a step slow, and we've seen that throughout the entirety of the season. Is what it feels like.
Yep, he's been off it.
So
There's no question.
I hope he does turn it on. Like, if nothing else, for Arsenal's sake, so they get the points they need and keep pushing for the title.
Yeah, but also, I mean, from my perspective, like, I know that all these players that have been in that dressing room over the past 3 seasons, they have to be so tired of this shit. Like Saka, like, I just can't imagine how they feel because I know how pissed off I am right now, you know? Like, if you're not sitting in that dressing room, you're not ready to fucking run through a brick wall to win this title, get out. Get out. Like, you have to win the title this year.
Yeah, no, you
You
do.
just have to, and I'm not.
Here's the thing: things change so quickly in the Premier League and in just in European football in general, that when you have a group that is expected to compete for titles, you have a narrow window,
Yeah,
right? Because if we look around, there's Manchester City have retooled once again, right? Like, they have a bunch of young players. Gay, he's going to be a great pickup for them. Liverpool have been pretty abysmal, but they're starting to figure it out. Next season, they'll be a force, I think. Um, Probably when Xabi Alonso comes in and starts managing them at that point. Verts, Verts is an FPL option next year when Alonso's the manager. That will be fun.
yeah, yeah.
And then they bring in Grimaldo as well as left back. Yeah, okay.
Probably
But
will.
what I'm trying to say is Arsenal have a narrow window, and if you don't get that title this season, who knows when you get it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you're
And
right.
then if it doesn't happen this year, I think you'll start to see a lot of fans starting to get a little tired of Arteta ball, because frankly,
Yeah,
here's the thing: he plays very defensively. He definitely focuses the majority of his attention upon the defensive side of things. When we're looking at transfers and style of play, he wants to be solid at the back and then go forward from there. That's not the most attractive brand of football to watch, right? So a
it's
fan
not.
base can become kind of soured by that over
Oh,
time.
look, I'm honestly, if Arsenal don't win either like the Champions League or the Premier League, even if they win the FA Cup or the EFL Cup, I think Arteta's gone.
Maybe. I mean,
I
here's
really think that it's kind of at that point where it's like another season of second place of not having a trophy.
yeah.
I just I love Arteta too. I think he's somebody that really does inspire the fan base and does a great job. But like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Let's get to premium discussion. I'm tired of talking about fucking Arsenal.
Fair enough. But okay, so within this, I think as we kind of work our way towards premiums, right? There's another Arsenal asset that we need to talk about, and that's Gabriel. I would say he is a premium defender. Maybe you don't see him that way. That could be up to debate, right?
No, I think he is.
Do you think that Gabriel is a must-have in people's teams right now?
I don't think he's a must-have. I think probably going into like game week 6 or 7, it was like Arsenal double. You want double Arsenal. They're going to be in your team the rest of the season, whatever. I think now you can make an argument that you could probably go double City and be better off. Like where you could go with a team that's going to actually keep clean sheets and have players returning.
I do like City's fixtures upcoming a lot better than Arsenal's. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. I would put City's upcoming fixtures at a 7 and Arsenal's at a 5. So, 2 basis points there. That's a pretty big difference between City and Arsenal. And then we also know that City have a double. They'll be coming up sometime soon.
Yeah.
Although they will blank in game week 31. That's something we need to be very mindful about whenever we're making transfers, because going into game week 31, we have 4 teams blanking. We have Man City blanking, we have Wolves blanking, and this was in the wrong order. Sorry, it should have been. We have Arsenal and Wolves who just played now, right? They played this game week, so they'll blink in 31. And then we have City and we have Crystal Palace. They'll blink in game week 31. That fixture has not been rearranged to another game week quite yet. The expectation is that it could go in 33 or sometime later than that. So we'll just have to keep an eye out on that. So with that being said, I like City's fixtures, but we need to be very careful about transferring in their players going into this run.
Yeah.
And that's a good time for us to say, I think that if you're transferring out Haaland over, this game week or you did last game week, I would be very careful about moving him on, because I think he's gonna have a really good stretch here in the near future.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know if Haaland's really showing us the signs that he is even at the point right now where he's going to be having 2-3 game week goals.
Yeah, we know with City though that especially Haaland, it gets to a point of the season where he starts to get some wear and tear, right? And you can see he's getting a bit leggy, but he's had about 10 days off or so, right? Like he's not playing right now. Going into the weekend, he's going to be well rested. And Man City have Newcastle at home, which I mean, that could be a rout without Bruno Guimaraes playing. That's one of those where I do not I would Holland will be my captain this weekend is the best way to encapsulate that. So
See, I don't think I'm going to captain him this weekend.
interesting. Okay, but so the next fixtures City have up until game week. This is up until game week 31. Oh, sorry. Man City have Newcastle at home, Leeds away, Nottingham Forest at home, and West Ham away. And they blink in game week 31. Those are really good attacking fixtures for Holland. And I think that transferring him out between now and game week 31 is really dangerous. It's something that you're playing with fire, and I would not advise taking him out, because I think we'll see an explosive Holland return sometime very soon.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, there's always the chance with Haaland, it's kind of, do you want to touch the oven and get burnt, or do
Mm-hmm.
you want to make sure you just have it off and you're not going to get burnt,
Right, right.
But I agree with you, but I mean, it could work out. I mean, look at kind of some of the cold droughts he's gone on this season. I mean, I think there's moments where, I mean, if you took him out, maybe like 6 or 7 weeks ago, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably worked out really well for you if that money's been allocated into good decisions.
Yeah, that's the tough thing, is like who the players who performed over that time. I would say João
Cole
Pedro.
Palmer.
João Pedro,
if
someone who's
you,
really performed. Cole Palmer.
I mean, if you took Holland out of your team, like 4 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that money went and you upgraded, like, let's say you had, I don't even know, like Sabazalai in your team, and you were like, all
Right,
right, cool, I'm going to take him out for Cole Palmer because I'm just going to take a punt on it.
right.
Congrats,
Yeah,
like,
no kidding. No kidding. Yeah. No, I completely agree there. I think that'll pivot us to Cole Palmer.
yeah. Let me go
Yeah.
ahead, keep talking.
Cole Palmer is one of those picks that there's a logical decision here for managers who are analyzing his form versus the upcoming fixtures. And the upcoming fixtures are not good, right?
Yeah, they're really bad.
They're not great. The time to have Cole Palmer, I think, was going into, like game week 24, something like that. Which would have been a really risky play to bring him in. But the thing about Chelsea's fixtures, they have Burnley at home this week for game week 27.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes Arsenal away, which is really difficult.
No, that's an easy fixture with the
Then Aston Villa away, which I think it's a good attacking fixture for them.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so if you're bringing Palmer for that, I wouldn't be too upset by that. Then you have Newcastle at home, which I like for Palmer. And then you have Everton away and Man City at home, followed by Manchester United, Brighton, Forest, and then Liverpool away to close out the
There's
season.
a lot of tough fixtures, dude.
There's a lot of tough fixtures, but there's a lot of goals in those games. Like Villa away, I see a lot of goals in that game. I don't think that's going to be a 0-0, right? Like I don't see that happening. I think Newcastle at home, there's a lot of goals in that game too.
I mean, fuck, all you need is João Pedro to go in the box and to have defenders shove him in the back.
See?
Like, I mean, hey, FPL is really it's really that damn simple, guys. Let me tell you, all you have to do is get a play in your team where you know there's a fucking idiot that's going to defend them.
That's kind of harder to do than said. But the thing about João Pedro, I mean that was a clear pin. Like I don't know.
No, it happened twice, back-to-back weeks, where defenders just decided to shove him in the back.
Yeah, maybe it's his personality coming through or something.
Probably.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Apparently, from everything I've heard, it seems like he's got a really great story, João Pedro. So, okay. As far as Cole Palmer goes, on this little matrix I've made here, which is combining form, fixtures, and goals and assists over the course of the season, and also weighting it a little heavily towards recent form, right? Like, so there's a favoritism towards form over the last like 5 game weeks or so. I have Haaland as the must-have premium, right? And then Bruno Fernandes next, and then Cole Palmer's third on the list, right? And that's, assuming Haaland, Salah, Palmer, Gabriel, Saka, and Bruno. What that tells me, though, is with his upcoming fixtures being weighted into that decision, I worry about Cole Palmer, but if he continues the trend that he's on, I think we have to have him, right? Like,
I mean, it's so situational too, because I mean, like, if you're already in a team where where there's just no way for you to get to him, and the only way is to take Haaland out. It's like, I mean, Haaland probably is more necessary just because of the large percentage that he's owned by, because Palmer goals will hurt you. Like lately, João Pedro's been killing me because he's just so highly owned,
Yeah.
And like Morgan Rogers at various points in the season, but like not having Haaland, like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about maybe taking him out, but like it's at this point, it's like I'm just hurting myself because my team has to do so much better if he scores one goal,
Previously, I was saying I don't think taking Haaland out is a good idea, but there's an argument to be made that with Haaland, you could take him out now and then bring him back in after their blank game week is over in 31. So maybe wild card him back in 32. You're going to be paying a lot more for him than you did because he's up to 14.9, I believe. He's dropped a couple times. Yeah, he's at 14.9 right now with an ownership of 68%. But I just don't think getting rid of Haaland is a wise idea.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Palmer's one of those though. Like he's 15% owned right now at this point in the game.
It's just his price point.
I know.
The fact that he's been out.
But if you can plan around it accordingly, ideally in my mind, you keep Haaland and you keep Palmer, but that probably means you're sacrificing Bruno Fernandes.
That's basically, for everybody that doesn't know listening to the podcast, I transferred out Cole Palmer, I think like 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the week before he had his first return for a while, and I took him out and moved him to Bruno, which in all actuality, I lost points, but on surface level was probably easily the right decision at that point in time. Because Cole Palmer was not playing. He was injured.
Right.
And it was like, or I think it was before Maresca was fired, or maybe it was whenever Rosenier was there, whatever it was. But I think it was Rosenier. He was basically like, I don't know.
But
He's just not doing well.
there was also that week. I think it was game week 23 or game week 24, because my wife had Palmer in her team. Rosaneri did a presser in the
This
week,
is when I fucking
and
transferred him out,
he said, "Oh, he's perfectly fine. He'll be okay."
and he didn't play.
And he didn't play that weekend,
Yeah,
and I got in big trouble for that. But the point being, that was a really difficult time to know what to do with Palmer. And if you held him, it paid off big time, right? But it was kind of going against the logic of the situation to keep Palmer in that situation.
yeah,
So it's the fickle game that we play, right?
yeah.
Because you can make the right decision and end up on the back end missing out on 30 points or something like
Yeah.
that very
It's just, I
easily.
mean,
So
there's so much variance to this game, that
yeah,
you can make the right decision and be wrong. Like,
your decision there, Paul, reminds me a lot of earlier in the season when I was between Doku or Foden. Whenever Doku had that really good match against Liverpool, I transferred him in on
Foden
the
goes on
back
an
end of that.
absolute
And then
heater.
Foden scored, I think, like 50 points over the
Yeah.
next like 5 game weeks or something. And Doku, I think, managed like 5 or something
Well,
crazy like that.
it's just one of those things. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think, who was it? I went from Palmer to Enzo, and then also brought Bruno Fernandez in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just say in a hypothetical world, if Cole Palmer actually was really hurt, do
Yeah,
you
no,
know
true.
how many points Enzo would have over the past like 4 weeks?
And he's actually been really good as of late. Right? His
Like he
underlying
would
numbers have
my
looked really good.
my rank would be
Yeah.
so much higher right now. I'd probably be top 10K. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'd probably our mini league maybe wrapped up at this point. Like,
Cheers to it not being
God, God, I don't want to unravel in this pod, but like, if I'm the top of our mini league for the whole fucking season and I don't win, and Arsenal are top of the league for the whole fucking season, I may not come back next year. Like, honestly, like, enjoy this while you can, because I may not be back.
Next season, top bin with twin.
What happened to the other twin? We don't talk about it.
He's now an American football fan. Oh God, don't even say that. I can't
I
even.
don't.
Oh
My
my
IQ's
God.
not going to drop that low. Come on.
All righty. Hopefully, we don't have an American NFL fans listening, because that's not cool. But yeah. So I think Palmer, in my mind, the optimal setup that I would see for the 3 premiums that we almost have to have at this point, I think it's Haaland, Palmer, and if you can get Bruno as well, that's going to be the best. From a budgeting perspective, the 2 must-have premiums that I think bare minimum to have, and then I'll pair someone else with that as well, would be Haaland and Bruno, right? I think those are
Yeah.
must-haves. But then if you have Haaland and Bruno, I think you have to have Gabriel as well, right? Like, I think those 3 pair really nicely, and give you mobility in every different aspect of your team setup, whether it's defenders, midfielders, or forwards.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I think that we are going to see that Salah might enter back in the conversation at some point.
He could. It's just really difficult for him, because I think if you're talking about Holland, let's see, Bruno Fernandez, Gabriel, Palmer, all these different options, it's simply not possible to have Salah on your team unless you want to have a back line of like 4.0 defenders. And this year with DEFCON, that's just not something that you want to do.
And alternatively, with Salah, you can go to Verts, who's been playing much better. He's in better form, and he looks like the hub of their team. Like,
Yeah.
he's creating the
He's
majority
what
of their
we thought
chances.
earlier in the season he would be.
Exactly. I was just thinking in my head, getting a Verts Leverkusen kit would be really cool. That might be on my Christmas list
You
next
should
year.
look at a Germany kit instead. That'd be cooler.
Germany would be cool.
That'd be
Yeah.
cooler than
Although
Leverkusen.
I think Leverkusen's kind of like streets remember kind of thing. So
Hey, you do what
for
you want,
their
man.
unbeaten season. But so okay, so my question to you, Paul. We know that Salah is still probably on pens, although we haven't confirmed that, right? Maybe it's Ekitike
It would
that's on
be.
pens.
There's no way.
You think it's Salah?
Salah is a pin merchant through and through. He will
Mm,
literally rip the ball off Ekatike after he kicks him in the head and takes the ball from him. Like
gotcha.
there's no. I'm just saying there's no way he's letting Ekatike take pins. He doesn't care.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a
No,
poacher. He wants those goals. He's gonna
I
take it.
agree. I agree. Okay, so I think the frame that we're looking at this through, the lens that we have with Salah, is there better options? Salah is not really viable, right? Because there's cheaper options that are playing better. Are there any other Liverpool assets that you would say are must have? So, like, let's just look at Liverpool broadly. Are there any players that you think you must have from Liverpool going in this run? Because here's the let me set the stage for you. Liverpool have an incredible run coming up for fixture wise.
Go ahead.
They have Forest away, which is really good. Forest have been drastically overperforming their expected goals conceded. So long story short, they've been getting very lucky. They've been conceding a lot of chances.
Yeah.
So they have Forest away, West Ham at home, Wolves away, Tottenham at home, Brighton away, Fulham at home, Everton away, Crystal Palace at home. I mean, there's their fixtures get difficult for the last two of the season where they have United away and then Chelsea at home. But up until game week 37, I think they have one of the best runs in the entire league.
Yeah.
So my question is do we invest heavily in them now and just keep them in our teams? How do you approach this?
I would say 2 Liverpool assets. I think that you could
Okay.
easily make the argument that if, say, you're a Gabriel owner and you're completely over owning Arsenal defense, go to Van Dijk because he's somebody he's scoring goals again.
17
Liverpool looks
points this
better.
game week.
Yeah, like absolutely hauled like last week.
Mm-hmm.
Van Dijk's a really good option. I would also say Verts, like we talked about, is really good. Sabazalai at his price point is awesome.
Just
Like,
watch out for the red cards.
I mean, watch it, but I mean, like,
Here's the thing: that red
he
card is such bullshit, though.
it's
That was a joke.
it was just let the goal stand. He doesn't deserve a red card for that. Like him and Haaland are doing the same thing. The ball still went in the net. Like, just
Has
let the game play out. Like,
has anyone heard of advantage? Like I purely am so mystified by that decision. It just shows that VAR, while the FA Cup showed that VAR is a good thing, right?
yeah,
In
yeah.
some situations, but
Luke is
truthfully,
referencing the Villa and
Newcastle
match, by the way.
yeah,
But
there were some discrepancies there in the officiating. But what I'm trying to say here is I really feel like VAR ruins the joy in the game. But broadly speaking, as we're kind of looking at Liverpool, I think to Liverpool is a great basis going forward. The two that I would advocate for, Liverpool's expected goals conceded is actually really good. Over the last 8 games, they've conceded an XG of 8.72, which is about 0.75 less or more than Arsenal, right? So it's
yeah,
very comparable to Arsenal, which is a good basis.
but they score
for
goals,
us.
so good for them.
But they're scoring goals. The thing that I'm trying to get to here, though, is I don't fully trust Liverpool's defense. So if I would advocate, if you're going to double up with Liverpool, I would say go with the attack. I think double up and maybe
I would say one of each, man. I
and
just
Ekitike Anverts, maybe Ekitike Sabazalai. Maybe, I mean, if you're going to go defensively, I think Van Dijk is the one to go to. He's always knocking on the door of DEFCON. But I think my ideal and premium setup there would be Ekitike along with Verts. Those two together.
I think it's good. I mean, I just personally like. I think it's tough when you have 2 attackers in one team.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's only so many goals and assists to go around, and it's great if you get a goal to an assist from one player to the other. But like, I don't know. I would just always prefer a defender where you're getting the clean sheet points if they perform in that way, and then just the figurehead of an attack. Which I would probably lean towards Ekatike a little more than Verts, but I think you could argue either way, and I could be convinced.
Mm-hmm.
Because both of them are really finding good form and settling in very well at Liverpool.
Yes, they are. They are. Yep. So, I mean, I think Here's the thing about premiums is that Haaland is pretty substantially the best option that we have right now. Even though he hasn't had the best form as of late, he is someone that we know he could score 3 or 4 goals in a single match, right? Like
Yeah.
he could pull a Gordon and score 4 goals in the first half of a match. And that's just the reality of the situation. So I would be very careful if I was taking Haaland out. If you're taking him out now, have a plan to get him back in after that
Yeah.
blank in
Yeah.
31 would be my advice.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah. So I think that will bring us to a close on premiums because frankly, I think there are really like 3 or 4 viable premiums at this point in time. Saka, as we talked about a little bit earlier on, might come forward and might become an option, but personally, I think it's just too early to go there because I need to see more of Arsenal and be a little more convinced that the goals and assists will come a bit easier first.
Yeah. I would say also Saka's stock does rise if Kai Havertz can come back and be like integrated in the squad, playing 90 minutes and everything. I think Saka's value does really rise then.
Yeah, it does. I was gonna say this when we were talking about Arsenal, but when you watch them play, and it's very similar with Holland as well. When you see, like, let's say Zubamendi has the ball and Gyökeres is running into a channel behind the center backs, that ball's not played. And that happens so many times throughout the course of a match where I don't know if it's a lack of confidence, lack of ability to play that long vertical ball in behind, but you see the same thing with City. It just just Holland and Gyökeres are not getting the service that best suits them at this point.
And I mean, I think a large portion of that answer is due to just how teams set up against both City and Arsenal.
But
That I mean,
the space is there, right? The
it's
degree
it's
of
pretty
difficulty in
rare.
the ball it's really high. Like it would take someone like Bruno Fernandes to play that ball probably, but no one's trying that either. So like my concern there with Arsenal is that they bought a striker who likes to run in behind and be physical with center backs, right? Like he
That's not what
loves to
they
try
need.
to run into that channel behind, kind of like a back line. But the balls aren't coming. Like he's not getting any service at all. There were multiple times, even in this first half against Wolves, where Gyökeres gets the beating of the defender. He's making the run in the 6-yard box, and the cross never comes. Whether it's the cross is misfired, whether it's not played to him, whether it's never played. There's nothing that they can do in that situation. So I think for Saka to start playing better, I think they need to figure out who their number 9 is and how they can best play together. Because
I've been saying it since the first before the first game of the season that this Arsenal team is miles better with the starting Havertz,
Mhm.
who's fully healthy in form. Sorry, we have enough of a sample size at this point to say that like look at what Arsenal did whenever Havertz was back and how things just facilitated a lot more. Everything worked. Not there today. See what happens. Not there at
No.
Brentford. See what happens.
Yep. No, you're spot on. Spot on. So,
I hate being right, but I'm right about that.
yeah. To tie it back into our conversation about premiums, if we see Saka continue to emerge over time, I think there will be a bandwagon that forms pretty quickly because he's a popular FPL asset. Like I think managers like to have him in
Mhm.
their teams.
Yeah,
And I'm sure Paul will probably go there pretty quickly if he feels like there's an opportunity there to get him in. So
we'll see. We'll see. Who knows?
maybe he's coming in next week.
Maybe, maybe I'll just ship all the fucking Arsenal assets in my team out.
There's an argument to be made for that after how they performed in this
Just fucking
double.
send them away.
Okay, so here's my question to you, Paul. Looking back on double game week 27, do you think that triple captaining Gabriel was a good decision? I know that it's results dependent now, but going back to the decision before the deadline, do you think it was a good choice to make?
I think it was a great choice.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I mean, I know, I don't know if everybody's seen this, but there is somebody on Twitter that put together Gabriel's combined points totals for 2 game weeks, right? This is easily the lowest.
Yeah.
And like the baseline was so low for basically him having to perform. Like if he had one clean sheet in both of these games, it was going to turn out somewhat okay, you know?
Right.
Like you'd work out at a decent level. And to know that he had an assist in these double game weeks and also hit DEFCON, I think, once.
He did today. Yeah.
So he hit it twice then, I think, right?
I don't know if he did last week. No.
I don't know. Anyways, he hit DEFCON and got an assist. If you would have told me that going into it without anything about the clean sheets, I would have said awesome. The decision worked out well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, at one point, he was on a 12-pointer today. And then you concede a wonder goal. Probably maybe should be saved. I don't really know. I haven't seen that many angles of it. And you give up a stupid goal where goalkeeper doesn't communicate and the defender doesn't communicate. So
yeah. But here's the thing. I think there's an argument to be made that maybe it's time to move on from Gabriel. I think at the price tag that the upside of going somewhere else and you get that right pick, right? Like let's say you find who's been killing his defender lately.
Gahey.
You find that Gahey, right, who returns 20 points over the next 4 or 5 game weeks. Well, that the next 3 game weeks, let's go with that. And Gabriel ends up with 4 points over that stretch, 6 points over that stretch.
It's massive.
It's huge, right? Especially because of the ownership difference, right? You can count on so many teams having him, and they're locking in that 6 points over the next 3 game weeks. So, that's kind of where my mind is going as of now. That maybe Gabriel is not overly necessary, and I can start working on managing what my team looks like going into game week 31 when the blanks are going to come a little bit, and that'll make it difficult for some people. Like a lot of teams, potentially they have some Crystal Palace, no one has Wolves, so I don't have to worry about that. But then we have City and Arsenal. Maybe some people have 5 to 6, maybe 7 players who are going to be blanking in 31.
Yeah.
So by getting Gabriel out now, maybe that gives us an advantage over the rest of the field going into 31. I mean, so
Arsenal look like dog shit, so mine as well is just, put them in a little plastic bag and fucking throw them in the trash, Sorry, I've dropped a lot of F-bombs in this pod, but I think that people would understand.
I'm sure they can hear the passion that's there. So, as you can tell, Paul is a true Arsenal fan, everyone. We did this right after the fixture with Wolves ended. So
I think I've been pretty well behaved, honestly.
He's doing good.
I think
he's doing good.
I would give myself probably an A-.
I would just say that maybe not an A-, but
trust me, this could have been so much worse.
Right. But never mind. What I'm trying to say,
where you're going with that, but
we did put Paul in a tough situation. So good job, Paul, managing this. Because
fucking A-.
Paul's gonna go with the A-. I will not reveal my grade. So that's gonna bring us to the end of this podcast, though. I don't think I have any more questions for you because here's my question to you. João Pedro has been really good as of late, right? He's been returning. We've seen multiple pins drawn. That Palmer connection is really good. He's getting bonus points. After Burnley, do you think it's the time to get off the João Pedro bandwagon?
If I had him, I would leave him. Honestly, if he was on my team, I would hold. I don't think I'd be going to the point to buy him, and I probably at this point wouldn't keep the Chelsea double up. So if you have João Pedro or Palmer, or if you have both of them in your team, I personally probably wouldn't hold on to both of them.
And in that situation, I would default to Palmer.
Yeah,
because he's on pins. Yep. As we've seen, that makes a huge difference over the last couple of weeks.
But so we'll just have to keep an eye on it because there's the World Cup this summer. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I know Chelsea want to keep pushing to make sure they're in Champions League, all this stuff. But like Cole Palmer's been in and out the whole season, so just be wary of that,
Yes, for sure. But he's getting in better form, so we'll see what happens. That will bring us to the end of this podcast, though. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Top Pencil Twins. Thank you to my co-host for keeping it together during this episode.
I think I did.
Because I know it's not the easiest thing to do. So any closing thoughts for the listeners, Paul?
Yeah, you're going to one day maybe one day you'll be in the place where you sit there and you're like, I really like the Premier League, and you're gonna have to choose a team. Just Luke, I'm really
I
like,
knew this was coming.
Like, just make a good decision. Because maybe you'll have some friends in your life that are like, this club's really about it. This is going to be really fun. You're signing up for a lot of stuff, and you know what? Sometimes you're just setting yourself up for a life of pain. So
I'm hearing you're blaming one of our other friends. I won't.
No, I'm not. I'm
just saying. I'm just saying.
No. Listen. Pause. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you're sitting beside an Arsenal fan who, no matter what, is going to try to convince you to do the same thing. You know?
No, I hear.
So
you.
I'm just saying that, like, be careful.
I always will be. I always will be. Well, no closing thoughts from me. We appreciate you all joining us for this episode of Top Ends with Twins, and we will be back next week to talk to you all about how game week has played out. And yeah, we wish you all the best of luck in this upcoming game week. We'll be back to talk with you all soon. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.